From station wagons to helicopters, Chevy's engines have proven to be more than universally useful. What up? It's your boy Kenny Pirelli, and in this list, we'll go over 9 vehicles you probably didn't know had a Corvette engine. Number 1. The 1995 Buick Roadmaster Estate. Looking at this wagon, you'd never guess it came with the 5.7-liter V8 of a Corvette. It's certainly not the most beautiful car you may have ever seen, but it's definitely an interesting one. Known as Woody because of the wood panels on the side, the Roadmaster is one of the lengthiest vehicles of its time period, coming in at 216 inches long. And even though it weighed 4,500 pounds, it could still get up to speed alright with its 260 horsepower engine. Number 2. The 2020 Chevy Silverado 1500. Not every Chevrolet Silverado is created equal. Common misconceptions are that every Chevy V8 is the same, especially when it shares the 6.2 or 5.7 liter capacity. However, selections can range from a 3.0 liter diesel with a turbo to a 4.3 liter V6 hybrid system. Some other options have definitely been introduced, but 9 times out of 10, the truck will sport a classic LT1 or LT2 engine in it. While that's the case with most Chevy trucks, it's verifiable that in 2020, the Silverado's 6.2 liter V8 shares the same internals and engine block with the Corvette, giving it 420 horsepower, meaning if you wanted to, you could pull out the Silverado engine and revive a dead Corvette of the same year. Number 3. The 2009 Pontiac G8 GXP. The late Pontiac company, which kicked the bucket shortly after releasing this car, was owned by General Motors, just like many of the cars on this list. Pontiac wasn't necessarily complicated, so with the G8, under the hood of this normal-looking sedan does in fact come a V8 engine. Typically, the engine had less than 6 liters, and sometimes it was even a V6 that barely made 256 horsepower. But the GXP came with the Corvette 6.2 liter that produced 415 horsepower, and only could be picked out of the lineup by the slight differences in the bumper and the tires. Both a 6-speed automatic and a 6-speed manual were available, giving the GXP a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds, just shy of the 2009 Corvette. Number 4. The 1995 Chevrolet Impala SS. There are several SS trims on this list, as it is Chevrolet's highest performance trim that it gives to most of its regular vehicles. In 1995, the Impala SS was released briefly to replace one of Chevrolet's most popular sedans that ended in 1985. The concept of the car was called the Caprice and was powered by an 8.2 liter, because when your car weighs 4,000 pounds and barely carries for adults, you need the extra power. Instead, the production ended up with the 5.7 liter V8 from our friend, the Corvette. Number 5. The 2015 Chevrolet SS. Just to clarify, this is not the Impala SS. This NASCAR-inspired muscle car doesn't even have a trim. Instead, SS is in the model name. Considered to be the best sleeper car by many car enthusiasts, it's sad that its production ended in 2017. If one of these pulled up next to you at a light, you'd probably think to yourself that it was an easy win if you were to race, and that's exactly where you might be wrong. During its near decade of life, it was powered by the 6.2 liter V8 of the Corvette at that time, making 415 horsepower. Maybe looks don't matter after all. Number 6. The 2008 Chevrolet Trailblazer SS. Although fast SUVs aren't really GM's forte, in 2008, this changed for a very limited time, during which the typically plain and unimpressive SUV got a 6.0 liter V8 upgrade, replacing its usual 4.2 liter 6-cylinder. Despite weighing 5,000 pounds, the Trailblazer SS could manage a 0 to 60 time of 5.7 seconds, thanks to the extra 105 horsepower. Keep in mind, this isn't their biggest, nor is it their smallest SUV. With a top speed of 149 miles per hour, it was enough to outrun most other SUVs and sedans in GM's lineup. Granted, the car itself isn't going to break any necks. Overhearing an owner saying he's got a Corvette engine in it definitely will. Number 7. The 2015 Cadillac CTSV. Time and time again, General Motors has been accused of being an old-fashioned company, making old-fashioned cars that awkwardly try to fit in modern times. Granted, General Motors has been a little slow at times to catch up. The CTSV seemed to be created just to spite the people that said this. It certainly did seem like a strange move to take a vehicle from your elderly-focused luxury brand and turn it into what is essentially a cozy Corvette, but that's exactly what they did. With the 6.2 liter V8 that produced 556 horsepower, more horsepower than current Corvettes at the time, but also 1,000 pounds heavier, the CTSV proved to be an impressive car. Number 8. The 2009 Saab 97X Aero. Chances are, you've probably never heard of this car brand if you're not a car enthusiast. Saab started out as a company from Sweden and was soon put under the control of General Motors. At the time, GM had 7 different car brands under its name. As a final hurrah, the Saab 97X Aero was born, with a needlessly complicated name and a 6.0-liter V8 that made 390 horsepower. Though, being an impressive sleeper didn't make anyone want to buy this car more than they already did. Not only was the vehicle boring, it had only the most basic features from other SUVs in General Motors and came with a near $50,000 price tag. Number 9. The 1992 Vertical Hummingbird 300 LS. What are you doing when you're an American-proud helicopter manufacturer based out of Florida who wants to give the population helicopters they can build at home? Look no further than the car they are driving. Vertical Aviation introduced the world to the first kit helicopter that was FAA approved. Just add an LS2 engine. The Corvette 6.2-liter was one of the 2 options given to consumers to power their private chopper. The helicopter itself wasn't necessarily small, and it certainly didn't suffer from having a V8. It was able to comfortably hold 4 people and had a useful load of 950 pounds. It had a cruising speed of 100 miles per hour and could travel 375 miles on 157-gallon fuel load, giving it the ground equivalent of 5.7 miles per gallon. Is this good for a helicopter? No idea. One of these vehicles vary in cost at right around $420,000. Are there any vehicles I forgot about on this list? Do any of you guys own one of these vehicles? Let us know down below. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. KP out.